How you liking it? What do you mean, meh? How can you say that? It's so good. Give me that, jackass. Yeah. Oh, you're here. Welcome. What's going on, guys? Z-Man here. Welcome to the Z-Man Show. For our first episode, we're talking about the 3 Jokers. There are 3 Jokers. Before we start, I want to remind everybody that I stream on Twitch Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night, and Saturday mornings. On the weeknights, I stream from 6 to 9. Playing some games, doing some stuff. It's fun. Come check it out. Links in the bio. Links in the description. Let's review some comic books. So, for those of you that don't know, a while back, Batman sat in the Mobius chair that could answer basically any question. He tested it out first, asked who killed his parents. Chair told him Joe Chill, which canonically is the person who killed the Waynes. So then he decided to ask it what the Joker's true name was. And it told him that there were 3 Jokers. Didn't tell him a name, it said they were 3 Jokers. So, anyway, that was back in 2016, I believe. A lot of stuff has happened since then in the DC universe, comic book-wise. But this is the big one that actually really explains what's going on with all that. I had no idea that this was even coming out. I've been kind of far behind on my comic book reading, but I went to the comic book store about 2 weeks ago, I think, and I saw the poster for book 2, I believe. Book 2. Saw the poster for this. It said, 3 Jokers, book 2. I was like, the hell is that? I go and ask the guy, I'm like, what is this? And he tells me about it. It's a 3-part series, still canon, and still takes place going on what's going on right now in Batman. But you don't have to be fully caught up on Batman to like read this. What you need to know is basically the broad Batman story up until this point, and that there's 3 Jokers. So I bought the first 2 books, and then the third one was actually coming out 10 days after that, so I went and bought that one. And I read them, and I love them, and I'm going to review them. But first off, oh, you know what is so cool? Look at the back first. See, each book has cards, right, imprinted on the back. Joker with different Bat family members. It comes with the physical cards. Came with the physical cards. Really, really cool little collectibles. I love that kind of thing. I love that kind of thing. It's super awesome. I'm gonna keep these nice and safe. And it's got like this little Joker logo on the back. Pretty cool. So right now, just a basic general review before I get into any spoilers. I will tell you when I'm about to talk about spoilers. Spoiler alert for later. Anyway, so if you like really, really badass Batman action all the way through, there are some good good action sequences in this comic book. But honestly, if I were to put this into either Batman or Detective Comics Batman, I would put it into Detective Comics Batman, because there's a lot of it's really, really story based. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of there is action. I don't want to say there's not a lot of action, but well, no, there isn't a lot of action, but there is action. But it's mostly unraveling this whole mystery. So we've got 3 Jokers that exist and have existed for a while, right? It's kind of, I don't know if maybe it's just me, but it's keeping it kind of ambiguous in which ones of the 3 were the ones to do certain things. There are a few things where it does confirm like, oh, this Joker did this, and this Joker did that, and this Joker was here, but it doesn't do that for everything. Each one is a certain Joker. There's the criminal. He's more of a dark thinker kind of Joker. Kind of reminds me more of a Heath Ledger kind of Joker, I guess, but not as crappy. Don't at me. He's a little more. He's like more subdued and calculating and stuff like that. He's kind of like sitting there like this a lot of times. He's even sitting like that in his cover, but he does that a lot. So and then you've got the comedian, which is he's more of making jokes and stuff like that, and doing some more I don't know, he seems the most like traditional Joker-y to me, other than the clown, which he's more into the, like they even say he's more into the theatrics of what he's doing and everything. They're those two, other than the criminal's the one that outlies. He's like the outlier to me, honestly. He's the outlier to me because I haven't seen a Joker like that in the comic books that much. Batman actually mentions in the third book, he says that the criminal reminds him of their earliest meetings, which kind of goes back to his art style too, because like if you look at how the criminal Joker looks, he does resemble a lot of how the original Joker looked like back when he first appeared in the comic books, and a little bit how he acted as well. That kind of makes me think these Jokers, the way they're presented, almost seems like they're representing each age of comic books. You know, you got the Golden Age, which was, I believe, the first age of, like, when comic books started getting big, the Golden Age of comic books, and then there was the Silver Age, and then there's the Bronze Age, right? And each time those ages change, the Joker changes. If you look at that, there's other videos that you can go on to YouTube, just look up like the evolution of the Joker, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now the clown is what I would believe to say would be the Silver Age Joker, if we're gonna go off of that, which I'm gonna go off of that. I'm just gonna start calling him Silver Age Joker as well, referring to him as that sometimes. He's the Joker that killed well, this shouldn't be a spoiler. If this is a spoiler for you, I'm sorry, you don't know Batman then. That Joker is the one that killed Jason Todd, the second Robin. If you don't know, Jason Todd was the second Robin back in, I believe it was the 80s, Silver Age comic books. Joker kidnapped Jason Todd, right? Second Robin. And DC, not in the comic book, DC in the real world let everybody vote on whether Jason Todd was going to live or die, and they voted for him to fucking die. He was a kid. They all voted in. It's like, you know what? Fuck him. Kill him off. Ugh. So Joker kills Jason Todd. But then years and years and years later, he comes back as Red Hood, right? They don't know who he is at first, and then they figure it out, and he's like, oh, well, I'm doing what you can't do, Batman. I'm killing all these people, you know? I'm getting rid of all this, getting rid of all the crime. And, you know, Batman stops him from killing the Joker, because Red Hood was going to kill the Joker, you know, because, you know, duh. Anyway, so that's the big thing that sets this Joker apart, because he's the one that did that. You know, each Joker has, well, I was gonna say each of these Jokers has one thing that they did really big in the Batman universe, but I can't think of what the criminal did. Maybe it's just because he's supposedly the first Joker or the original. Like I said, they were very ambiguous in this, and no spoilers. I'm just saying that's not a spoiler. I'm just saying they're ambiguous with what they're saying in this. Then we have the comedian Joker, this guy right here, the comedian. This is the Joker that crippled Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, in The Killing Joke, right? They go back into these into those kind of backstories in this. So if you don't know anything about that kind of stuff, well, I mean, you do now, but either way, it'll tell you a little bit about this about it in each of these books, and go on through it a little bit. Something that the book seems to allude to is that the comedian Joker is the most recent one, or the one that we've been seeing the most recently in the comic books. I think, like I said, ambiguity. I'm not really sure exactly. I don't think it pinpoints each thing that much. Maybe we've been seeing all three of them all the time, right? I don't think they were thinking there were been three Jokers ever since they began. Obviously, they probably just started writing that in like back when Batman asked the Mobius chair. Maybe since then they've been kind of spreading it around. Maybe we just haven't noticed. Anyway, let's review the story. So basically, the most basic way I can put the story without spoiling anything is they're tracking. They know there are three Jokers right now. Batman and Batgirl are tracking them, right? 3 Jokers did something tonight. You know, when the first book starts, 3 Jokers have done something. Like this one murdered a comedian. This one murdered some people over at Ace Chemicals. This one did something else. Anyway, so yeah, there's 3 Jokers all working, and there's 3 different places where 3 different Jokers have been. But while they're doing that, Red Hood is also tracking a Joker. Because, you know, he hates the Joker, obviously. Anyway, they kind of meet up and start working together to find these Jokers and capture them. Well, Batman and Batgirl are trying to capture them. Red Hood is obviously trying to kill any Joker he sees. So that's basically the summary. That's the basic plot of this. A lot more stuff happens. A lot more stuff happens. This is where the spoilers start. This is where the spoilers start. If you don't want to hear it, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. And like and subscribe. But if you don't plan on going and reading these, or if you don't care to, if you don't mind listening to what the story is all about, but you're gonna go get it anyway, whatever. These are $6.99 a piece, and they're almost graphic novels. Honestly, I mean they're not graphic novels completely, but they're almost graphic novels. They're thick books. It's a lot of bang for your buck. I really like it. I really like how much there is in just this 3-parter. It's pretty good. Spoilers coming up right now in 3, 2, 1. Okay, first book. Like I said, Batman and Batgirl have been tracking these Jokers, right? They find these 3, I think Batman said they were homeless people that were Jokerized, but they were reported as Joker was seen in the area, but oh, these guys have been Jokerized. Before I get to that, there's such a cool panel. It's little, it's nothing crazy, but the first few panels of the comic book is Batman returning back from the night of crime fighting, fighting the Penguin, I believe. It shows Alfred fixing him up and everything. It's stitching up this wound he got from an umbrella, which was from the Penguin that he was fighting that night. But it shows all of Batman's scars on his back, and well, other ones too. But his back is fucking covered with scratches and dings and dents and shit. It is crazy. And it starts showing a bunch of different scars in each window and how he got them. You know, back this one. Oh, the Riddler burnt him with his you know, the question mark staff. The end was like glowing or something like that, so it must have been hot as fuck. So he burned him, and then it shows like where it is. It's like right here, and then there's the new stab mark right there is when the Penguin just stabbed him earlier that night. There was one, there's this big scratch across his chest where Catwoman scratched him. He's got a bite mark on his arm right here from Killer Croc. He's got a scar going down the center of his back from where Bane broke his back. And then the last 3 panels are 3 different Jokers. One shooting him, one acid spraying him, and then the other one cutting him up with the playing cards, like not these ones, but you know, they look like these ones, you know, they're like metal. So he's like swiping them up, and there's some sticking out of his arm like this in the panel, just showing some old stuff. But then that shows you each of the old Jokers. You know, you got the criminal there just like looking at, frowning and shooting at him, right? You know, and then you got the clown, you know, like, oh yeah, woo, and the other 2 are smiling because that's what they do. It's so weird. That's just jarring to me, you know, just seeing one of the Jokers just angry and, you know, doing whatever. Batman and Batgirl are investigating this crime scene where there's 3 dead Jokerized guys, right? Batman figures out that they were probably homeless. They were no names, basically, but why were they Jokerized and why were they left there? Anyway, they're talking to the commissioner and I believe Harvey Bullock. I'm pretty sure that's still him. But then all of a sudden, one of the dead guys starts laughing. He's not dead. So they put him in an ambulance and they start taking him to a hospital. But Batman and Batgirl are going to escort them. So they're driving, everybody's driving, and then it shows the inside of the ambulance where the guy's like sitting there like, oh yeah, thanks for all the help and everything. And then all of a sudden, the orderly guy that's helping him with him starts choking the dude. He's like, and then boom, just lifts him up like this. It's Red Hood, and he starts questioning him, and he's like, where the hell's the Joker? So the driver of the ambulance is like, what the hell? And he kind of crashes into the Batmobile a little bit, and then Batman, you know, figures out something's going on, jumps out, swings it. It's cool because it actually shows kind of, I think that's the mark of a really good action artist that can draw action, is where you know exactly how this movement is going, even though you're only seeing 2 frames before it happens. Because Batman's like on top of the ambulance, I believe, and then he jumps back, grapples to it, and then kind of swings in and kicks the door open to get inside. And you can see that, you know, you can see that's exactly what Batman was doing with, like, on top, outside, kicking in the door. You know exactly how it moved. Really, really cool. Really good artist. So anyway, Batman stops Red Hood from basically killing the guy, because he wasn't planning on killing the guy, but because of the Joker toxin, apparently if his heart rate goes up too high, he'll have a heart attack. And they talk, they decide to work together, and they go after this next lead for the Joker. Oh, and the lead they had, those three homeless guys were at Ace Chemicals. A truck was stolen. A truck from Ace Chemicals was stolen by the Joker. Duh. So they find out the chemicals, or they trace the chemicals to an aquarium. So they go in. They see that the fish, the big fish tank is filled with Joker toxin, and all the fish are Jokerized. And then this giant-ass shark comes out of the fog, and the shark is Jokerized. You've never seen something as scary as a Jokerized shark. I hate sharks. I am terrified of sharks. A Jokerized shark would be a lot worse. Anyway, they turn around. There's a bunch of Joker thugs there, along with this little guy named Gaggy. I've never heard of him. Like, I know a lot about Batman's, you know, characters, but Gaggy I've never heard of. Apparently he was an old accomplice with the Joker. Batman says that the Joker once called him his court jester. Real creepy looking little guy. They start shooting at him, but they want to keep Jason alive. One thing, the Joker said he wanted to keep Jason alive. So they get into a fight, they're shooting, but, you know, they obviously, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Batman fighting all of them. They don't really stand much of a chance. But Gaggy comes up behind Red Hood and shocks him, right? Red Hood's laying on the ground, and Gaggy goes like,
"Oh, the Joker told me you'd beg me for your life or whatever. You know, we're gonna have some fun."
And then Red Hood, he's like, "Well, we have some fun right now." Whoo! Whips the gun around, bam! Misses, or does he miss? I don't know if he was aiming for the guy's head or not, but anyway, it does not hit his head. Goes right past Gaggy's head, hits the shark tank, which has been getting hit with bullets. Gaggy turns around and goes, uh-oh. Then the shark, boom, breaks through the glass and eats him. Very scary shark. Sharks are evil. I don't like them. Sharks are scary. I don't like them, and I'm allowed to not like them. Gaggy gets eaten, basically. He did. Batman goes, he might have known where the rest of the chemicals were, and Red Hood's like, the chemicals are out here on the floor, they're gone. You know, and Batman's like, that can't be it. That can't be all of them. And then out of the fog behind Batman, you can hear, you see the shadow, and he goes, right you are, Batsy! And he comes out, and Joker comes out with a bowl of piranhas and bashes in on Red Hood. Red Hood gets knocked down, but Batman jumps in, smacks someone, smacks Joker in the face, and then Batgirl smacks Joker in the face, and he goes down, he's out. A couple seconds later, he's like, Joker's on the ground, Batman's standing there, and he gets a call from the commissioner, says, oh, we found another Joker, and Batman says, okay, Batgirl and Red Hood, you stay here and wait for Arkham people to come and pick up the Joker. Batman leaves, leaving Red Hood and Batgirl to guard the Joker. So Batgirl and Red Hood are sitting there with Joker tied to a chair, you know. They're just talking, and they're talking, and Red Hood's like, oh, is this the real Joker? And she's like, well, you gotta be, you know. And they're like kind of talking back and forth about what he looks like and what he's supposed to look like and what he's been looking like and whatnot. And they're talking about like what he could have, what he was using and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, he was using, you know, Joker toxins, doing that on the fish. And then Joker starts talking. He goes, and he says, he's like, oh, and toxic flowers, and he has that flower on his lapel, and he goes, you know, shoots the acid. They dodge it, but then they start talking to each other. So he goes like, oh, well, I can prove I'm the real Joker. And then they start searching his pockets for all his little pranks and stuff. But then she says, Batgirl says, watch out for traps. And he goes, but I am the trap. And then he starts talking about what he did. He talks about what he did to Red Hood, right? He starts talking to Red Hood about how he's like, oh, well, why do you think you took on my former moniker, the Red Hood? Red Hood says, well, it's because I'm owning what you did to me, you know. I'm not letting it beat me. I'm gonna own it. That's why I called myself the Red Hood. So he says that. Joker just starts laughing at him, right? Red Hood starts pulling his gun out of his holster because he's getting pissed, right? And Batgirl's like, put the gun down, right? And you know, Joker just keeps talking. He says, let's look at the facts. I killed you. I killed that the second Robin. He's still kind of like playing mind games, you know. Red Hood's getting fucking pissed off, and he keeps lifting the gun up more and more, aiming at him, right? Aiming right at his head. Says, yeah, I killed you, and but you dug yourself out of that shallow grave or whatever. He said, but then he goes, or did I beat you until you got right to the edge and then left you alive on purpose? I don't know. Like I said, ambiguity. And with the Joker, you never know. You never know. Honestly, you never know with the Joker. He could be lying. He could be telling the truth. Either way, it's getting the Red Hood. He tells Joker, shut up. He keeps talking about it. And he says, I'll never forget what you said while I was beating you to a pulp. He says, I'll cherish those words forever, because, I mean, you got to remember, Red Hood was a kid, you know? He was like, he might have been a teenager, I'm not sure, but he was just a kid, right? And he says, oh, well, when I was beating you, you know, you remember what you said? He said, I'll do anything, please stop. If you let me live, I'll do anything. He said, I'll even be your Robin. And, you know, Red Hood's like standing there. He's like, he's got this look on his face instead. And now instead of being like pissed off, he's like, you know, he's getting to his head. And Joker says, and now look at you. He's like, you are my Robin, because he's the Red Hood. So he sits there laughing, starts laughing and cackling like the Joker does. Next panel is him holding the gun. It's like a side view of the gun, and you can see his fingers are shaking. He's about to pull the trigger. Batgirl swings her leg to try and kick the gun, the gun. Red Hood dodges it, right? She knows he dodges it. She pulls out a batarang, whew, kicks the gun. That's it. Points the gun back at him. Bam! Shoots the Joker in the head. That Joker's dead. Jason Todd killed that Joker. Shot him in the head. No ambiguity there. You see, boom, right through his head, the blood, everything. It's done. He shot and killed that Joker. That Joker's gone. Gonzo. When I was first reading it, I was like, she's gonna stop him. She's gonna stop him. It's like, it's not gonna happen. It never happens. Nothing that ever happens. I turned the page. I was like, he actually killed Joker. He actually went through with it. Killed that Joker. I guess I feel like that's probably because now that they have 3, obviously they can do that, because obviously they're not going to get rid of the Joker forever. Even if they killed him once, even if they killed the one and only Joker, if there was one, he would obviously be back at some point, right? It's comic books. Some Batgirl's pissed, you know. She's like, "What the hell did you do?" And he goes, "I ended it." And he's like, "Don't pretend you didn't want that. Don't pretend you didn't want that too. After what he's done to all of us." And she goes, I didn't want it. I didn't want that. She goes, I didn't want that. And he goes, and he looks at her. He goes, really? It's like, when's the last time you missed? And because she kind of missed with that batarang, you know, kind of ticked the gun a little bit, but she missed. And you know, the Bat family doesn't really miss shots. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, she gets really upset. You know, she's got tears in her eyes and everything. She says, screw you, Jason, walks away. And that's how the first book ends. So, not a whole lot of action, right? But what I think is very, very fun storytelling. Really good storytelling. And a good way to kind of meld this together. So that's just book 1. And seeing as I've been recording for almost an hour now, I think I might have to split this up into a couple different videos. But the story gets better. That's one of the biggest shocking moments. That's one of the big shocking moments of the series, in book 1. But there's more. There's more, especially at the end. Something that I found, like, I was like sitting there like, holy shit, no way, because I didn't expect that at all. But we'll get there. But yeah, I rate that. I'm rating book 1, I guess, 10 out of 10, because that's just awesome. And honestly, almost anything written by Jeff Johns is going to be a 10 out of 10, because it's Jeff fucking Johns. Jeff Johns is like, I wish he would just take care of pretty much everything that DC does, because he's just the fucking best. So that's my review of just book 1 of the 3 Jokers. I will be making the next one real soon. If you like this video, like, and subscribe. And also remember, I stream Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday nights, 6 to 9, and Saturday mornings. So come hang out with me. We'll play some games. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Jesus loves you. So do I. Z-Man out.